thing you really want to focus on and get inspired by is color. So as you will see, most mood boards have a cohesive color in every single inspiration image. So a color usually ties in the look and the vibe and the theme that you're trying to go for. So first, try to envision the color scheme that you want. And of course, it doesn't have to be one color. It can be a pattern. It could be a combination of different colors, as long as there's some sort of a unison amongst all of them. For example, here we see a mood board, and we easily can tell that the color theme of this mood board is purple. So almost every single look here, almost every single textile has an element of purple to it. So that's what you want to do first. Determine the color scheme. That's the first and most important thing to coming up with your mood board. If you are a fashion designer, you definitely want to include pieces of fabric and pieces of different textures on your mood board. So this definitely communicates the vibe of the types of prints and fabrics and trimmings that you want to focus on in your collection. However, as a fashion stylist, you can add pictures and images of different fabrics as well. So if you are planning that photo shoot, you are communicating to yourself and to your client that you do want to focus on specific types of textures and specific types of fabrics. So either way, it is a good idea to have an understanding of what types of fabrics you want to utilize in your photo shoot or your collection, what types of colors, of course, textures, and prints. For example, do you want a lot of polka dots in your fashion collection or photo shoot? Do you want a lot of satin and silk type of fabrics in your photo shoot? Maybe chiffon or jersey is what you want to focus on. So texture and fabric is a huge indicator of the type of mood and vibe and general idea and inspiration that you are going for, whether it be as a stylist or a fashion designer. So absolutely make sure to incorporate those pieces of fabric, textures, and embellishments to really communicate that mood board across to yourself, your team members, and to your client. So sometimes this step for me actually comes first. So it really depends what you are inspired by, but a lot of the time we have a certain theme that we want to do or a theme that we're inspired by. For example, what if I want to do an all denim type of photo shoot? So I already have a theme in mind, and I can kind of draw that I want to include a lot of blue denim pieces in there. So if this happens to be your first step in creating a mood board, it's not a big deal. But either way, right, your mood board should always have some sort of a theme that it's focusing on. So are we doing 90s grunge? Are we doing 50s classic? Are we doing an all denim 2000s story? Or are we inspired by Jeremy Scott fun types of pieces here? So really determine the theme, the angle that you want to focus on, whether it be a photo shoot or a fashion collection. So you definitely want to make it clear, no matter what kind of mood board you create, the theme of what you are going for. So I want you to take a few minutes, pause this video, and really think about what the theme, color, and texture is of this mood board. As a fashion stylist or as a fashion designer, what types of looks would you come up with for this mood board? What types of looks would you pull as a stylist? And what types of looks would you create and design as a fashion designer? The fourth thing you want to do when you're coming up with a mood board is you need to realize who you're creating this mood board for. So if you're creating a mood board not for yourself, but for a client or for your team members, whoever you're working with, you need to understand your target market. What is your client looking for? What type of brand are they? What do they want specifically, right? So I would suggest you absolutely do your research before, of course, coming up with a mood board for your clients. Look into their brand, look on their Instagram, their Facebook, their website to understand what they represent. Are they more commercial in terms of their looks? Are they more laid back? Are they more high fashion? Are they more punk? So every single brand or client has some sort of a vibe that they're going for. And us as stylists, as fashion designers, need to understand what it is that they are looking for. We need to put ourselves in their shoes and be able to bring their vision to life through clothes, accessories, elements. This overall illusion that we create as stylists. This also does not mean that you can't come up with your own elements and that you can't come up with your own style. So you definitely can do that. You can add in your own elements to the mood board as well. We generally have also a lot of ideas and are naturally good at what we do, but you always have to make sure that the general theme and mood board that you're creating matches the aesthetic that your client is looking for. So another thing when coming up with a mood board is a lot of the time we have to actually come up with a name for the mood board. So this I personally am not particularly good at. I am not good at naming things or coming up with titles or captions, but it is something that we have to do sometimes. So any fashion shoot or collection that you design needs to tell some sort of a story. And usually these fashion collections, fashion magazine stories have some sort of a title to communicate that story to the reader. So a lot of the time words can actually be a lot more powerful than visuals. So it ends up tying in the whole story together. So it's good to have a rough idea of some inspiration in terms of titles for the mood board that you're creating. So let's take a look at a few examples of titled mood boards here, and you can see how the name of each mood board kind of gives us an idea of what the collection or photo shoot is going to be about beyond the images presented. So the last thing you want to make sure you do when you're creating that mood board is to not only insert pictures of textures, fabrics, and looks and garments and different locations, but also pictures of objects. So you want to include different images of props, whatever props they may be, whether it's nail polish hair or it's a landscape photo or boots or a hat. It communicates more of what types of accessories we are going to have. A lot of fashion stylists also love to include images of makeup and hair. So as stylists, as fashion designers, we have to look at the big picture of things. We have to look at the grand scheme of our photo shoot and our collection. It's not just about the clothes we put on a person. It's the entire look. It's the hair, it's the makeup, it's the setting, it's the lighting. There are so many elements and factors that go into it. So we have to see the bigger picture of things. And when you are creating that mood board, make sure you add in images that showcase those props, that showcase the way you want the photo shoot or collection shot, model inspirations, and of course, setting inspiration, locations, where you want it shot, what kind of setting inspires you. So all of these little elements are super important to coming up with a mood board and efficiently communicating that across to your client and your team members. And of course, also for you to organize your ideas. So in this lesson, we learn about what a mood board is, the two types of mood boards, the importance of a mood board, and finally, of course, how to create a mood board. So in the next video here, we will have a small exercise on the mood board. So I will see you guys there.